Good morning, Kevin. How's the weather in South Carolina? Crispy, good morning. Colleen, Ellis, good morning. Rylan, not much here. Just another day living the dream. Tim, good morning. Diana from Colorado, good morning from Colorado. Debbie Gilligan, good morning, Will. Hope you had a wonderful week. I did. Overall, a pretty good week. Rosemary Kennedy from Bulgaria, 45 degrees in South Carolina this morning. See that South Carolina would be 3 hours difference here. I always get that mixed up if it's 3 hours ahead or 3 hours behind. So I believe it's 3 hours ahead. So it's 11 o'clock there, right, Kevin? Good morning, Connie. Stephanie from Arkansas or Arkansas, or however you want to prefer to pronounce it. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you could all be here this morning. 11, so it's 3 hours ahead. I Kevin, absolute honesty. I call my family back home in Wisconsin, and I always screw it up if they're behind me or if they're ahead of me time wise. So sometimes I wake them up out of bed when I call, especially on the weekends and the mornings. But I just forget. Because then again, you have to understand. I wake up, at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. every morning. So I just assume the rest of the world is awake with me when I wake up. I know it's terrible, but it's in my head. I don't really consciously think, oh, look, it's only 4 o'clock in the morning and you're getting up. I think it's just one normal days when I just start the day. Michelle, good morning from Tennessee. Crispy woke up on Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I just bought my son some Oshkosh overalls yesterday. Good quality clothes, especially for kids. He'll probably outgrow them before he wears them out, though. Good morning, Lita. Sarah, smile. Hello, everyone, and good morning. Good morning to you too, Sarah. Gross. Good morning, K-Love. Snowy Photography, good morning. Welcome to the stream, everyone. RJ, I didn't mean to miss you from Boulder. Well, my sister lives down there. She's probably pretty close to she's definitely closer to RJ if RJ's in Boulder, Colorado. I've got one sister that lives one town over from me, one that lives in Minnesota, and the other one lives in Colorado. So don't know where my brother is. He's somewhere. Nobel CE, good morning from Atlanta, Georgia. Good morning, Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to the stream. I hope we are all having a great day today so far. Wherever you are, I hope you're safe and warm and that, you're in good health. Apparently Samantha is not going to make the stream this morning. She just texted me, said that she slept in. She hasn't had a chance to do anything yet, but she's going to try to catch it if I go for a couple hours. Yeah, she's another fan and a friend of mine who pops in to the stream every once in a while. She's not a moderator or anything, but she's she's very loyal, and I really I wish her the best in a lot of ways. She's been dealt a really hard life, especially the last couple of years. Mandy, good morning. Short and nice. Good morning, both of you. Welcome to the stream. Rykart0713. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you, Rykart. Oh, thank you. Thank you. At least I'm done with this pretty much. The only thing I have left to do is the floor. And I just haven't had the time to do it. I've got everything sitting here out just outside the studio door here. I've got the underlayment, and then it's going to be that what do they call it? Composite flooring. It's not wood. It looks like wood, but it's not wood. And it actually it's pretty thick. It's about twice as thickness as of normal laminate, like hardwood flooring or whatever you call it, like Pergo. But I'm eventually going to get that done and put it in here. Live chat reminder. Ariana. Not Ariana, area. Welcome to the stream. Just finished putting floors in my basement, and now later today putting down the baseboards. Oh, that's cool. It's it takes some work, but once you get it going, it's like laminate flooring. You can knock it out pretty quickly once you kind of get the rhythm to it all going. At least for me. I did it not this house, but a house that we had previously. I did the entire dining room and I guess you'd call it family, like this room that's off of the dining room, sitting nook, whatever. It was about 900 square feet. I did it all myself in about a day. The hard part was figuring out, making sure I had enough of the underlayment and the actual, boxes of it, and then having to carry them in. Good morning, Oma. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well this morning, Oma. I've remodeled a lot of houses though over the years. This is now, let's see, I think this is our 5th house that we've lived in since me and my wife have been married. And just about every one of them, the first one we bought was definitely a dump when we first bought it. It needed a lot of work, some cosmetic, some, structural. You walked into it had only had one bathroom, and it was a full bath and shower, but you walked into the bathroom and the floor had rotted out. You'd fall all the way through the floor into the crawl space underneath the house. So definitely that was the first thing I had to do structurally to that house. But done a lot of it over the years. Debbie does readings. Good morning, Mr. Gemini. Good morning to you too, sweetheart. I hope you are doing well. Welcome to the stream. James Smith. What's the latest on Watts? I don't know. I haven't been following it, James. I know a lot of people have been talking about it, but not me. And every Sunday now, James, if you want to tune in this Sunday, I have a live stream on Sunday evenings that I do every week now for the rest of to eternity. And that stream on Sunday nights at 5:00 Pacific Daylight Time. So I don't know what time it is where you are, but on that live stream, all I'm going to do is cover true crime case, recaps, updates on cases. So if you want to tune in this Sunday, between now and then, I'll look into the Watts case and see if there's anything new that is, informational out there that's worth talking about. But for right now, I'm sorry, James, I just don't have anything to share with you about it. I haven't followed it. In Australia, oh, Jesus. If you're in Australia, that you're the next, well, if it's 5 o'clock here, you're the next day, because you'd be over the date line. I'm sorry about that. Good morning, Linda. Well, we can watch it and recap, but I'll make sure to point out the Watts case for you, though. I'll look into it. Oh, thank you, Tim. I appreciate you getting the super sticker. I don't know which one you got. Sad news of Watts case. Chris is still able to walk and talk. Yeah, Oma. He's still breathing oxygen. Every breath he takes is one more than he deserves. So I got to write this down really quick for Tim, for James. That way I don't forget. James Smith. Watts update. There. I'll make sure I write it down. That way I don't forget to check into it. Make sure I get in there. Good morning, Mike. Allah Akbar. Good morning, James Smith. So it is 3 a.m. I was thinking it was, James. It's 3 a.m. Sunday. A fellow YouTuber who goes by the name Mel, who is down in Australia. She recently lost a very good friend of hers, and I believe Friday was the memorial for it. And she just uploaded the video of the memorial this morning, I believe. Well, that's when I finally got notice of it this morning on my phone. So it was 4 o'clock my time when I got the notice that she had uploaded the video. So I think I got the notice when she actually uploaded, but you never know with YouTube. She could have uploaded it Friday, evening, and I just now got notice of it. Can't rely on YouTube's notifications all the time. Well, in some instances, rarely at all. Sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. And King, good morning. As I said, good morning to you from Colorado, but just wanted to say hello and good morning again. So what about this crazy world we're living in, huh? Mike Stevens, your sister died of COVID on December 9th. I'm so sorry for you. My heart goes out to you and your loved ones and family. Me and my wife now, not that this takes away from your pain and suffering, and I am really, truly sorry about the loss of your sister. But me and my wife now have lost a total of 11 friends to COVID-19. 4 worked in the medical field with, not where my wife works, but where she used to work. And it's getting worse. Hospital capacity here is filling up. We're at 90% capacity right now, and they're only admitting those who are the sickest of the sick. Otherwise, they're triaging them there in an outdoor area, like a tent city, and then sending them home, basically. If they have somebody who can care for them, they're giving them everything they can to be, to go home, because there's no place left for them. I think the last thing that was on the news, they had 5 beds left in all of the ICU units, and they've converted over an entire floor of the hospital to ICU, and it's sad. Shelley Williams, good morning. Glad I made it to your live. Well, I'm glad you can make it too, Shelley. Welcome to the stream. Now, COVID is not a hoax, but unfortunately, at the same time, Reichart, there are a lot of people out there that still believe that it is, until someone they know directly gets it and dies, someone they care about, they're not going to believe it. And I'm a firm believer in that, because a lot of people out there, and I've seen them on my Facebook friends list and everything else. These people really, truly are convinced that they're invincible, and so are their families and friends, and and everybody else. They believe that it's something that was made up by the government to restrict people's free will and movement. And I will freely admit that when it comes to like I know here in my state, I can't speak for other states, but my governor here has definitely done some things that were a little over the top, restriction wise, that didn't need to be done. But you can't convince them all. Good morning, Linda. Not my verbiage. I hope you are having a great morning. Snowy photography. I'm in Ontario, Canada, and we are on full lockdown, going into heavier lockdown next week. Yeah, same here on the 11th. We're going back from, I think we were at stage 3 here. We're going back to stage 1. Total overall in our state, I think it was something like 6,000 new positive cases. Oh, my nephew thought it was a hoax, and unfortunately gave it to her. He was living with her. I'm so sorry about that, Mike. We are keeping it under control in Australia. Yeah. Oh, I was watching a interview with Fauci. I can't. What is his first name? David Fauci, from from the CDC, and or he's from the CDC, I believe. But he basically outlined it, and the same thing that he had given to the government, and to the administration. He said if we would have done a complete lockdown for 110 days, mandated that every man, woman, and child wore a mask, we'd all be over this. It would have died out by now. But now he doesn't see it changing until we get close to a 70% herd immunity, and roll out and start vaccinating at least 1 million people a day. It's just going to keep on spreading from person to person until everybody either gets it and we have a herd immunity, or we vaccinate everyone. And 1 million doesn't it sounds like a lot, but he also brought up in the interview how many people they vaccinated against the Spanish flu influenza attack in New York City when that hit, and they vaccinated something like 5 million people a day when that happened, or whatever it was. Maybe it was 500,000 a day. But thinking of the technology back then. K-Love, we're still on voluntary from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Well, thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. My latest 2 videos went over like a sinking ship. But don't worry about me. I knew exactly before I ever made either one of the two videos. I knew exactly what the backlash would be. I knew exactly how much hatred I'd get. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised that my projections of just how much people were going to hate me for reading the news to them almost verbatim. I knew how much people were going to strike back against me and how many subscribers were going to leave. And to some extent, it still hasn't hit the top part where I thought, and I did. I'm not joking. I wrote down what I figured I was going to lose in subscribers, viewers, and everything else. I wrote it all down because people don't want to hear the truth. They don't. Just like my video from yesterday. I read the news word for word almost. The only part I didn't put in was the one part that I couldn't confirm was on the hospitalization of officers from the attack. It's the only part that I didn't read. But I read it and I read it from and I knew I see I had planned this and I read it from their news source because I knew I was going to get a lot of people who were going to say, you're anti-Trump. You're the evil Democrat from the other side of the aisle. You're the son of Satan, or whatever. It's always like that. It's like the same people who, last night, who I've seen in my streams and I've seen them, in the comment sections of my videos. So I know they've been around for a long time. Who sent me, emoji, what do they call it? Emotions, emojis. I'm terrible at these stupid names for these things. The little pictures of things, but these 15 middle fingers across the entire comment because they don't like that I went out of my way and I said, well, you know what? If I'm going to read this news off to them, I'm going to give it to them from their source, what they think is the news and what they see as an unbiased source. So I took both videos and I read both of them off of Fox News. That way they couldn't say you got that from an another source that was not confirmed. And then the link of the videos, I purposely put in there, the link to the actual where I got it, what the timestamp and everything else on the program, everything. I knew I was going to get the hate. My wife looked at me, and I talked to her about it before I actually did it. And she said, "Are you sure you want to go this route? Because one of your biggest things is you have always talked about is you don't talk about politics." But to me, what happened in Washington, D.C. is not about politics. And I said it several times in the video. Doesn't matter if it's left, if you're left, right, centered, independent, I don't care where you are. And I really, truly don't. I don't care. It's none of my business where you are, and it's none of your business where I am. Thank you for the super chat, Mandy. I appreciate that. Politics, all they want us to do is just fight with each other. If they can have us turn in on each other and fight with each other instead of trying to work towards a common goal, we can't see what they are doing, when we're all fighting each other. That's how politics works. Lie, steal, backstab till you get to the top. And while everybody else down here is suffering and can't get by and can't put food on the table because everything's closed down right now, we're going to give you a stimulus check for 6 cents a day. But at the same time, we're going to sign in an appropriations bill to give billions to the defense budget. Because you know what? They need it. No, they don't. They won't even spend it until the end of in 2021. They already have a budget that runs through until June. But hey, who am I? Right? I'm nobody. I'm just a basic idiot who has the ability to push a button on a camera and and then upload it to YouTube. It's all I talk about, Short Nice. I factually support everything that I cover on my channel, and people hate that. They really do. Confirmational bias is what it's called. They hear one thing and they believe it, and that's what they want to stick with. They're like, "This is what I heard. This is what somebody told me, and that's got to be the truth." Because if they start questioning it, then they question themselves of why they're listening to this person or that person over that person. They don't want to hear it, and it tears at people. And from an individual standpoint, confirmational bias. So I'm aware of what I did, and I knew what it was going to do to me, and I was okay with that. Because anybody who unsubscribed over me reading the actual news that was factually supported by two other sources, because I checked everything that was in both the videos, and anybody that unsubscribed and left over it didn't really get what this entire channel and what I'm about, and that's the truth. If they left over that, yeah, sorry. I hope they have a good life, and I wish them all the best. I need the real you. Bring thank you. Try to support honest people. You, my friend, are very honest. Well, thank you, hard rockin' mama. I ain't got time for anything else, and that's the truth. Life is way too short to be fake or to try to remember what your lies are. So my dad always told me, be truthful, and you never have to remember what you said before, because the facts will always be the facts. And it's true. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that they're fake, they're plastic, they have 10, 15 million subscribers on YouTube. I could spill the beans on some of these people, but Jesus, what would be the point of it? It would just come off as I'm vindictive towards them. But they're not who they say they are. People see on the other side of the camera. They think that they get to know the person through the video, but they don't, because they don't know who the real person is. And if you met the actual real person who's on the other side of that camera, you wouldn't want to be in the same room with them. But they come off as the sweetest, darlingest people on videos because they've worked at it and they've learned to put one persona on the camera, and then the rest of it, it's all a lie. Their life is a complete lie. Brian James, good morning. I hope I didn't miss anybody else. I'm doing this, and I should be doing this. I have one of those timers right now. I'm hitting it every single time that I say hello to somebody and greet them. I want to see just how much of your guys' lives I'm wasting by greeting everybody. RN forensic student, good morning. I'm all the crazy you see on YouTube and off. I loved your stream the other day, Linda, when you were going to on your little road trip. And I don't know if you still have that video up or not, but that was a hoot. I really enjoyed that. Melinda C. It's never a waste of time listening to you, Will. Well, thank you, Melinda. I appreciate that. Miss 40? Is it you pronounce it 40? I hope I'm not butchering it too much. 40. Enjoy your videos. Keep doing your what you're doing. Best wishes from South Wales, UK. Well, I definitely will. I have no plans to change who I am ever. A lot of people, have asked me over the last couple of years that I've been doing this, do I feel like, this YouTube experience has changed me at all? And unfortunately, in some aspects, I definitely believe it has. In some negative, in some of it very positively. Negatively, I mean, in my stress level has definitely, seen, a spike, in certain times, especially in the beginning. Not so much now, but when in the beginning, trying to figure all this out and trying to make a go of it, it's not easy to go from 0 subscribers to even get to 100 subscribers, and little alone, and then almost 2.5 years now. Go from 0 to 26,000, and it doesn't fall short on me at all. Every day I wake up and I make another video and I put it online. I'm still surprised and I'm still thankful that anybody wants to tune in to listen to me, because I don't fit the the stereotypical what a YouTuber is, I guess. A YouTube, digital creator, or whatever you want to call me, or whatever I'm doing here. CG, how are you doing? I'm doing great. I hope you're doing well, CG. Don't know. If you watch some of the videos the last couple of days, there, James, quite a few of them, after they spoke on the Senate floor, have kind of taken a step back and away from the president. Carpe Diem, good morning. I hope you're doing well, Carpe Diem. I just put that on my Twitter this morning. Carpe Diem to, I said, happy Saturday morning, Carpe Diem to the other YouTube creators who follow me, and to all my fans. Bex, good morning. I hope you were doing well, Bex. You think America is too hard on Trump? He's not even on my radar. I'm not kidding, Mike, when I say that. In most days of my life, I could give about who the president is. I'm not in the service anymore, so I don't have to follow everything that the commander-in-chief says, so, or does. I know a lot of people are always we're always like complaining about his Twitter activity. I've never followed him. I don't read his tweets. It doesn't even come up on my Twitter. Most of the people on my Twitter feed are subscribers, followers of my content, or their friends and family. And there's a couple holdovers who have been on my Twitter since I had I had an independent bookstore. So there's some of them that are still on there. Most of them own bookstores. I still patronize these stores because they're small independent businesses, and I know, and however and whenever me and my wife can, we always shop local. So. Yep, Linda, you're absolutely right. Good, Bex. I'm glad you're doing great. I mean, politics again. in closing, it's just not something that it affects my life that I worry about every day. When it comes to politics, the only thing that really affects my life is what my local politicians are doing, because they're the ones that are going to affect your life the most. So if I'm going to pay any attention to any of them, it's going to be them. So, Susan McDermott, we listen and subscribe because you talk sense and agree with you. Greetings from Birmingham, England. Birmingham, England. Well, welcome to the stream this morning, Susan. I hope you are doing well. I don't know what the weather's like over in England today. I haven't heard from anybody yet. Hope Moscow Mitch. You're talking about Mitch McConnell. Heard that some people were pretty nasty to him on the at the airport or something. I didn't know. I didn't open it. It was just the title of the article. It came up on my news feed this morning when I was on Twitter. Birmingham, in industrial town like Pittsburgh, PA. I have to tell you the truth though. I don't know much about the UK except for what I learned from songs, that are still in my head from the 1980s. I'm sorry. I know that's terrible, but I should know more about it, but I don't. It's it's like my wife and my family. They love to travel the world every year. Obviously, we didn't do it this past year, because of this COVID stuff that went on. But there's so much of America that I haven't seen, and I'd love to get in my little car and drive the United States, the back roads of America, and visit small towns here and there, places that the interstate left behind, that cut off their lifeblood. You can meet some of the greatest people you'll ever meet in your life in small town America. People who would do anything for a stranger, give the shirt off their back, to help somebody else out. And if you really get down in the dumps and you really think that there's nothing left of this world, do something like that. Get yourself a couple $100, to put gas in your car and just drive and visit small town America, and then go back and reverse. Not reverse in the car itself, but make a loop, go back and actually visit people again. I love the UK, Aussie people, and kind, caring from what I've experienced. Excuse me. Good morning, Mama Bear. Good morning, Will. It's been a while since I caught a live with you. Do you, Will? You're awesome and amazing person who keeps things real as a subscriber. I appreciate that. Well, thank you, Mama Bear. I appreciate you being here and watching, my content and leaving a comment whenever you can. Tina Medley, I agree. Small town USA. I love old bookshops. Well, you would have loved mine, James, when I had it. I had books that were from, some of them were late 1800s up through about 1985, 86 in there. I didn't carry much in the way of newer books. It was more antiques, and I traded and sold, and that was my lifeblood. The older books and rare manuscripts and first editions. So, but I purposely kept it that way. I didn't have a lot of foot traffic for people who came into the store. which is exactly what I wanted. I didn't want, 40 teenagers in my store at the same time. And the more valuable books were locked away, behind a glass case, where I, could see them. But yeah, I did that for, geez, I had the store for almost 15 years. And then I decided to get out of the business completely, not because I went and broke. God, no, that wasn't the problem. I was able to buy 4 homes with the money that I made from it. And I got out of the business because it was getting harder and harder and harder to be able to survive. And the taxes where I live just kept on going up. And I got to the point where it's like, how much longer can I really survive at this and make a go of it? Back when one of the last years, I think I had the store, I used to watch a TV series from the UK called Black's Books. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that show, Black's Books. Black as in the color, books. It had the one guy who was in Shaun of the Dead was on it. I can't remember what his name is though. Prefer holding a book opposed to reading a Kindle. Yeah, Tina, that was mainly one of that played into it somewhat. The explosion of the Kindle, and the readers and Amazon, and stuff like that. But I sold on Amazon as a third party seller for quite a few years. But most of my bread and butter came when it's online sales came from Abe Books, Abe Books, and my website. And then I also sold some records on Gem. But that's all there. But I sold most of the business off, and what remains of it, my daughter has. She wanted it all, and I was like, are you sure? It's all in air pressurized bins in our basement. It's basically, like those vacuum seal bags where you suck out all the air and it's down your clothing. Well, these are all the books are in. They're in hard plastic clamshells, and then they're stacked inside of bins, and then all the air is sucked out of it through a pressurized pump, so there's no air in there. And they've got those little defecate bags in there in case any moisture does get in. But she doesn't have any of the older rare books. She bought mainly the stuff that was from the 70s through the 80s. She originally planned on selling it all, in lots on eBay, but then eBay let her open up an eBay store and get everything ready. But then PayPal refused to allow her to open a PayPal account. How are you going to sell anything on eBay if you don't have a way of taking money? So, do you have pairs of crampons? Must have the ice. I don't know what that's about. I bought the second hand for years, and now have a spirit attached to me from an old Christmas decoration I got 3 years ago. So please be careful. I can't get anyone to help me pass over. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Bye, RN student. You have a great day today. Stay safe out there. If you get a chance, Sunday night at 5 o'clock is my new stream. And that's every single week. So Saturday mornings here, me just talking to everybody and catching up with life with everyone. And then on Sundays, I'll be redoing true crime recaps, cases, and updates, whatever comes along. But it's all true crime on Sundays at 5 p.m. And then once a month on Sundays at 7 p.m. for Patreon and channel members, I'm doing a stream just for them. Every single month, the first Saturday or Sunday of the month. I'm not sure yet how it's going to work out that for the Patreon. And then I have another one, the fourth. So there'll be a total of 4 new live streams. Well, 3 technically, but there will be 4. More will. Woo woo. Yeah. I asked a question in your community post about members and Patreon. Did you? Short Nice? I'm sorry. I must have missed it. I'm sorry. I will definitely go back and check it today, unless you want to ask it again now. If you want to ask it now, sweetheart, I mean, I'll definitely answer it now. Yeah. Well, I think I still have a pair of crampons in the house. I read the other comment, but I didn't know who you were replying to. The ones that I have, they slip on right over your shoe. They're kind of like rubberized, and they have like little, it's like steel and plastic cleats that for walking on snow and ice. But you can pull them over your shoe, and then they stretch over the back of like your heel and from your toe on. Very useful if you live in someplace like Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, or someplace in in the Rust Belt. Which they are separate. Channel membership is directly through YouTube, and I think the lowest tier on channel membership is, I think it's $4.99 a month. The lowest tier on Patreon is $1 a month. Which one is better? I don't see any difference really in either one of them now. There was a point where Patreon was definitely better, but YouTube has gone in, and that's exactly why they have channel membership. Is YouTube has always had this system. If somebody is doing something better than we are, let's just copy 100% of what they're doing and offer it ourselves. That way we can keep every dollar coming through us. And that's how they make money on it regardless. If I charge $4.99, they're making, I think, 70 cents from each and every person who pays $4.99. Patreon, on $1, they're keeping about 9 cents of $1. So the fees are a little bit lower on Patreon, but when it comes to me, I don't really see it. So it's not something that I'm worried about. Just know when it comes to giving, it's the cheapest for perspective wise of what I get versus what the fees are. I mean, but I don't see either one as any different. I like it on YouTube though. I can list things for channel members. I make community posts that only they can see. I have videos that only they can see. I mean, I could do the same thing on Patreon, and I try to, but there are certain restrictions on certain things you can't post on Patreon. That you still can't you can't post gag videos. You can't post nudity. I know 20% of people who answered the poll want to see me do a live stream nude. It's not going to happen, but 20% of the close to 700 people who answered both of those polls said so. I hate to disappoint them, but they're about the same. I have them in every household in Minnesota. We give them as gifts. Yeah. Well, I keep the one pair, Linda. I think they're probably about 5 years old now. It was the last time. No, no, they're not even 5 years old. I got to think, when did they go back for the last funeral? So that would have been my grandmother. Yeah, I got them. I got them in. So that was what, last year, and 2020 sucked. Trying to keep track of when people died. 2020. My grandmother passed in 2020. So did my uncle. A lot. We've lost. Me and my wife have lost so many people who were close to us in 2020. It's not even. It was just a terrible year. Now my verbiage. He needs PayPal. Who needs PayPal? Well, you need Cash App account so you can get 100%. Hell, I don't use Cash App. I don't use Venmo anymore either. But Linda, I do have PayPal. It's on my you go to like my main page in the upper right that corner of where your page header is. There's a link right there to PayPal. Do I have the link right now? No, I don't. This is me, ladies and gentlemen. I don't ask people for money, and I'm terrible at doing a lot of this part of that I'm supposed to do. You know, but I'm just gonna keep on trucking along and being me and doing me. Oh, there's K Love. Thank you, K Love. You're such a sweetheart. I'm so glad that I found you as a moderator. You do such a wonderful job, K Love. I mean, I really do appreciate everything you do for me. I really do. You make my mornings in these streams possible, and you make it so much easier for me to be here. So everybody, make sure you give K Love some love. I would really appreciate that. Over there, Colorado Springs has Fleet Farm. I wish they had a Fleet Farm here. I really wish they had a Fleet Farm here. That's something, that in Menards. Linda can tell you about Menards. But we don't have either one. We don't have a Fleet Farm here. We don't have Menards here where I live. Thank you, everyone. Fleet Farm and Fleet. I would try Big R is like those two stores. We don't have. I don't know what Big R is. We don't have that here either. But Menards, the closest thing that we have that's even remotely close to Menards is Eagle, and Eagle is part of Lowe's, the Lowe's family. But otherwise, it's a giant big box, hardware stores like Home Depots. We don't have all the independent hardware stores and stores. If you've never been to a Menards, there's nothing like a Menards. You can go to Menards and buy, the plants for your yard, flowers and vegetable plants for your yard. Pick up a 2x4, buy chains for your tires for your car for wintertime, buy a microwave, and buy a rotisserie chicken all at the same time. And it's not spread out like a million miles like a Walmart. It's smaller, and yeah, it may be a little, if you're claustrophobic, it may be a little bit like that way, but it's always organized, and you never know what you're going to be able to find at Menards. They just don't have them anywhere near me. The nearest Menards to me is in, I believe, Montana, be the closest. So that's probably about 400 miles. Oh, thank you, Ann King. Most days I feel like an idiot, though. I'm a mod on a couple of dive and rescue channels. Well, that's cool. Drama must remain on stage. And good morning. I didn't notice. I'm sorry if I missed you before. Didn't mean to. No Menards in the South. LOL. Yeah, we used to have like True Value, hardware, Ace Hardware. They're all gone. They're all gone. Every one of them. And I was so devastated when I was doing this construction for the studio. I ran out of 16 penny nails, and I just needed a small box of nails, or maybe a pound of nails. So I went down to my local where True Value Hardware used to be, and I walk inside, and everything's gone. And the owner was still there. He was they were taking apart the last parts of the shelves, and after 40 years in business, they closed up because they can no longer compete with even Home Depot on the price of nails, because they get all their nails in such large quantity. They can offer the nails at a fraction of their price. Sad. Menards opened in the cities with about 65,000. My nearest Menards is in Casper, Wyoming. I've been to Casper. Casper, Wyoming, that's a pretty area. It's been a couple of years since I went through there. I'm not sure if I went and watched a baseball game there, or if I was just hanging out with people that I met. But normally every June, I travel the United States watching minor league baseball games, and I know I stayed in Casper, Wyoming. I stayed at I think it was a Holiday Inn Express or something like that. I'm not sure if it might have been a Best Western, because I stay at I don't know, at a bunch of them. If I have my wallet in front of me, I know I have all the reward cards for these places. And if I get like, oh, you stayed here so many nights, you get a free night. Really? Thank you. Not much of a reward. Melinda C., it was nice talking to everyone. Got to run. Have a great day today, Melinda. You stay safe out there. Denise Terrell, didn't Jeffree Star just move to Casper? I don't know. I know who Jeffree Star is, but I didn't know he moved from Los Angeles or wherever he was before. I assume he was in Los Angeles. Hold on a second. My wife is texting me. She doesn't want to come in here because she knows I'm doing a live stream. She doesn't want to interrupt us. Sorry about that, everyone. Wonder what's in Wyoming for him. It doesn't seem like someplace that Jeffree Star would want to move. Every time I hear, Casper, or I always think of Cheyenne. Bye, Susan. You have a great day, Susan. Stay safe out there. Mike Stevens is moving to Los Angeles. A lot of people are exiting California because of the taxes. He said he was going to spend half of his time in his new place in Casper. Seriously. Wow. Are you insane, Mike? Well, Mike does follow these streams and is here just about every weekend. I don't think it's been a while since I've missed Mike in a stream. So he very well may be insane. But that's his dream to move to Los Angeles. Good luck, Mike. You know, if you're into comedy, that's the place to be. A lot of great people have started their careers, you know, at the Comedy Store and other places that, you know, there. Soccer Mama One, Maureen, all. I never got noticed you were on. I'm sorry. Gayla Denson, good morning. Well, I was on my way. My doggy was having a meltdown. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I hope your doggy's feeling better now. Lived in Rock Springs. I don't know if I mean, terrain wise, between the Casper, Wyoming, Cheyenne area, the terrain that is there in that area is exactly like it is where I live right now. And so it wouldn't be that much of a difference in climate change for me. The only thing different is, you know, in Casper and Cheyenne, you know, and those areas in Wyoming is that you guys get real snow. Well, not here. We're in between the Cascades and the Rockies. So the Cascades come this way and the Rockies come this way. And we're down in the valley between them. So most of the snowfall and rainfall clouds go over the top of between one series of mountains to the other, or the other way, you know, coming from the West Coast, they go up over the Cascades and then dip down over the Rockies. So, but we're I think they call it a high desert plateau, semi-desert. We don't get cactuses that grow here naturally, but boy, we get some sagebrush. I think what they call them long Jupiter pines or something like that. It looks kind of like a Jupiter bush, but it's a pine tree. It's like a cross between the two. It's a natural tree that grows in the desert. And we also have Jupiters here. But a lot of, if there's a tree anywhere, you know, in this vicinity, it's been planted by man or birds. Well, thank you, Drama. Must remain on the stage. Rock Springs. You grew up in Rock Springs? Gloria, good morning. Didn't mean to miss you. I really dislike LA. Best thing I ever did was to move away. Mm. You know, there have been a lot of creators, you know, YouTube creators that have left Los Angeles area. Excuse me. Who moved on? Like, you know, I know, like Joe Rogan, you know, for one, he moved on to what? I think Austin, Texas. But I have to get going. I have a stream today with foul play at 1. I have to be moving lazy, but get something done first and have a great weekend and stay safe, everyone. Bye, Linda. You stay safe out there and bundle up. I know you guys have got snow. My sister sent me pictures the other day, you know, of the snow that she has. Well, not my real sister, but it's another story. We call her my sister, but she's kind of like an adopted member of the family. My biological sister lives in more upstate Minnesota than from you. She's about halfway up the state, and she's got snow up there as well. But my adoptive sister is in Hibbing. I had to think of the name of it there for a second. I'm like, what the hell is it called again? Any opinion on Jack the Ripper was? Do I have any opinion on who Jack the Ripper is? No. Never. I've never actually, truthfully, I've never really read up on Jack the Ripper. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of. I know there's speculation that the person that was Jack the Ripper was a doctor who moved to the United States. Supposedly, I've read a little bit here and there about that, but I couldn't tell you anything more than that. I'm done with California. I just don't like the snow. Well, if you don't like the snow, Galen, there are a lot other places to move. Good morning, I see you. Unless you've got roots planted there, and you and your hubby want to stay there. So. Good morning. You think it was? You think it was HH? I don't know. I read speculation that that it was some doctor who moved to the United States and may have been a serial killer here. I've read that he might have been an immigrant from Ireland or someplace like that, and then went to Scotland. There's been a lot of speculations that I know of, but I just never read up on Jack the Ripper. But Holmes, yeah, I've read up on Holmes's motel of murder, and that was a freaky place. I'm surprised he got away with that for so long. The murder hotel, yeah. Blue Bell, hey Will, hey Chet, good morning, Blue Bell. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. He could have been royalty. Could have been. Could have been. Never know. That is a very good possibility. Holmes was a freak. Yeah. You definitely. There's a lot of people, when it comes to Holmes, there's a lot of things in his past that and things that he did that should have definitely given people away, to the police. But back then, you could buy the police off, and they just looked the other way. You read a lot about him, Holmes, so H. Holmes, or Jack the Ripper. I'm still here. Good morning, America. How are you? Jacqueline, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Ann King, my mom tells me the horror stories about snowstorms that she had to endure in Wyoming. Never had a snowstorm, Gala, like I had experienced when I was five or six. I was just a wee little lad. And maybe I was older than that. Yeah, I had to be because maybe I was in the second grade. So I think my son is 4, is in preschool. Next year he'll be in kindergarten, 5, 6, 7. So maybe I was 7 or 8. But we had a snowstorm and we were living in Wisconsin on the farm, and it snowed so much in such a short period of time. I mean, it was a whiteout, but it got up to the point where we couldn't get out the front door of our home. We had to crawl out the window of the home And this wasn't a snowdrift. It was that thick and deep everywhere. Crawled out the window of the house to walk around to the door to shovel the snow away from the door just so you could open it. It was that deep. And I remember all the pipes in the house froze. And even though, obviously we're not new there, and the house was built in the 1920s, and we knew how to take care of everything. But it was that cold. It got that cold and that much snow that quick. It's scary as a kid, when you can't go turn the tap on for water because everything's frozen. Don't agree with your joints? You thinking about warmer climate? I hear Texas is nice for warmer climate. Just stay towards the Gulf Coast. You stay away from tornadoes. Yeah, we used to get snow quite a bit like that. My sister, who passed away, God, I loved her, but she used to live on in an area that it was close to where our family farm is. She moved to the city, not too far away, but for like the last 5 years, 6 years of her life, they got very little snow compared to what the snowfalls that we used to get when we were kids. They'd get maybe an inch or two, and that was it. We used to get snow wasn't snow until it measured in feet. Billings, Montana. My nephew went to Montana State. He never finished. He was getting a degree in computer science. Now he just sits at home and plays video games. Does my sister still come in here every once in a while? I never acknowledge her as my sister, though. I don't need people stalking her online. I've got friends that pop in as well. Like friends who will pop in the stream every once in a while. People I've had friends for 25 plus years, 30 years, 40 years. I don't want to date myself, but I remember 40 and I want to go back to 40. Snowballs in Georgia become ice weapons of mass destruction as soon as you pack. There's a channel that I follow is a realtor from the Atlanta, Georgia area, and his name is Rich Grimes, and he has a YouTube channel. But he doesn't put anything on his channel about real estate. It's all about his fascination with finding those things that he loved when he was younger. Cars, mainly cars. He's bought like a couple of Pontiac Trans Ams, like the Smokey and the Bandit Trans Ams, the 70s, model. But then the rest of it is about him just living life. It's an interesting to me. I watch a lot of different things when I watch YouTube. Everything from documentaries to channels that where like Palm Palm Springs Sandy. Palm Springs Cindy. It's just her vlogging basically. Most of it's she's behind the wheel of her car driving around. She just has an interesting way of saying things and putting it out there. But you can look up both those channels on YouTube. I'd highly suggest if you're interested in hearing the conversations from a female perspective of life and getting older, Palm Springs Cindy. Kimmy Jean, how are you doing? Doing great. Hope you are doing great, Kimmy Jean. Had snow in Bozeman in June. Oh, July in Butte. I love all those towns. Bozeman, Butte. I stop in every single summer, like clockwork. You can find me in either Bozeman or Butte or Billings, Montana. I stop in every single one of them. I guarantee it. I stop in each and every one of them, because each and every one of those cities has a Loyal Order of the Moose Lodge, and I stop at every damn one. Especially if they're I hit Helena, Montana first, because I have Moose Lodge there. But they have a minor league baseball team up there that I love to watch. But then I then drop back down onto 90, and I go 90 through Montana, and then I drop down and I hit both the Dakota, South and North Dakota, and then come back up. I'll put my hand on the screen here, and I come back up, and I come into Minnesota through Fargo, that way, and then I drive down through the top of state of Minnesota up to International Falls to see my family, and then I go back down. What was it, 94? I think it turns from 90 to 94. There at the state line. And then once I get to the Twin Cities and visit, around the Twin Cities area, I visit my family and friends there and watch baseball games. And then I go over into Wisconsin, see family and friends there, up and down the state from Milwaukee down to, the Prescott area. And then I drop down into Michigan, Ohio, Iowa, and then I come back up again through Minnesota and then back through Montana. Do it every June. I put about round trip. I average right around 2,500 miles over that entire month, just driving around. Just me, and I have it's a Chevy Aveo, which is it's a 4-door car, but the thing gets like a ridiculous four. It's not the most comfortable car, but I mean, heck, we only paid like $1,000 for the stupid thing. And since we've owned it, the only thing we've had to replace was the serpentine belt and the battery. And I do that every year with that car. Road trip through the United States. Do you have a camper? I have a camper. I just bought one this past year. I've never taken it anywhere. It's just parked in my driveway, but it's not one that I can pull behind, that Aveo. I have to pull it with my truck. It's sleeps 6. It's a 39 foot. Trying to remember who makes it. I'm drawing a blank on it right now. But yeah, I bought it. I brought it home. I parked it in my driveway, and then I moved it from one driveway to the other driveway. And that's where it's been sitting all along. I plugged it in, just before winter time, winterized it, and that's where it is. Gloria, what kind of car? It's the Chevy Aveo, Aveo, Aveo. It's what replaced the Chevy Sprint and Metro. That in the 80s and 90s they had the Chevy Sprint and Aveo, just tiny little compact cars. But the Chevy Aveo for like $1,000, man. You can buy the 4-door sedan for about $1,000, but and the tiny little gas sipping motor, and they're so easy to work on. If they're intermittent cylinder motor, timing belt. If the timing belt it was ever to break on it, it's three bolts to take off the plastic cover, and 1 bolt to do the tensioner, and then you move it down with a socket wrench. Take the belt off, put the new one on, let go of the socket so it tensions it back up. 3 bolts to put the plastic cover back on. You're on your way. And there's almost nothing in the way, because the air conditioning unit and everything else on them is on top and sits as a V-mounted motor. We've owned a couple of them over the years. The one we have now is reliable, cheap, super cheap on gas and maintenance. But the one we had, the one that we bought that we had the most problems with was we had a Chevy Aveo 5, which is it's 4-door plus it's got the hatch, but it also had the window that opens independently. We bought that thing brand new from the dealership. Yeah, we've had several before that were used. Not Aveo 5, but they were Aveos, but not the Aveo 5. We bought the Aveo 5, and we had put 16 miles on it, and we had nothing but electrical problems with it from the day one. They ended up finally taking it back from us underneath our state's lemon law, and then just tearing up the contract to buy it. I think they gave us like $3,000 of what I had put into it, like payments wise. I think I lost like $500 to have a car for 6 months. That car was just I don't miss that one at all. Durango is a very special place. Love the Needle Range views from top of Purgatory. You know who was just down there? And you guys might remember him, the comedian Tom Green. He used to have the Tom Green Show on cable network, and was it Tommy Got Fingered or somebody got fingered? I can't remember, but he was an actor as well. But he lives in Los Angeles, still has his home in Los Angeles, but right now it's just him traveling the U.S. During this COVID outbreak, him and his dog, and he was just down there in in that area, because one of the videos was about Needle Range, and he did. If you check him out on YouTube, you can watch his drone footage. He flying drones around, but I think right now he's looking up. He's trying to find ghost towns in America or something like that. But I know he's got that on there. I have a 91 Miata, 30 years old, runs like a top, great gas mileage. Mazda Miata. I've never owned a Mazda Miata. Owned a lot of cars over my lifetime, but I've never owned a Mazda Miata. Thought about buying one a couple of times. I really did. And great little cars. My mother-in-law has a 1962 MG that's in her garage that we can't get out because the concrete driveway has settled, and the roots from the tree have pushed it up, and the door opens this way, so we can't We can't get the actual car out of the garage. We've been meaning to call someone out to cut the concrete so we can get the door off, open so we can get the car out. So it's a little two-seater MG. Well, if I'm gonna get anything else, it's gonna be that one. I'm gonna get that buy it from my mother-in-law because she can't use it. There you go, Mr. Frosty. Freddie got fingered. That was what Tom Green was in. I knew it was something or somebody got fingered. I want to visit Bodie, California, the ghost town. Never been there. We've got a ghost town here. It's about it's 20 miles away, and you can't just drive to it. You have to take a special tour bus out to it because it's in the middle of a government range, and the area is closed off to civilians to go to. But there's an old bank and store, and there's a couple houses, and it's the government moved in here where I live, and they bought up everything, and they bought the town, and then they moved everybody farther away from what they were doing. MG's rock. I can't remember what kind it is though. I know it's not. It's older than the newer ones had like the rubber bumpers, but this has got the metal bumpers in the front, and it's long and sleek looking, and it's also blue. I don't have anything around here that's even a reference to the color of blue that it is. But she had the entire thing restored inside and out. Perfect car. Probably full of dust now because it's been in the garage for probably 15 years at least. They didn't have those back then. He got out the front door. My backyard was fenced. He was 10 months old, still a puppy boy though. So glad to have the invisible fence. Works great. So learned how to drive in an MG. Oh, hi Maria. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. I'm sorry if I missed you earlier. And Mr. Frosty, sorry, I didn't say hello to you this morning. Good morning, Mr. Frosty. I hope you are doing well. My ex-hubby had a black MG. I was afraid other cars would run us over. Yeah, that's one of the things. It's like it does sit very low to the ground. They're not the biggest cars in the world. Very warm here in Dawson Creek, British Columbia, Canada. Usually -30 below. It's +2 today. Wow. Dawson Creek, British Columbia. Why does that sound familiar to me? It's not just Dawson Creek like in the TV show. Dawson Creek, British Columbia. I wonder if I was talking to somebody who mentioned it the other day. Hello. Southern Mom, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Well, you have fun with your three-year-old grandson there, Kimmy Jean. Mile 0 of the Alaska Highway. Is that where it is? Dawson Creek is? Huh. I didn't know. I think somebody mentioned it, and I was talking to yesterday, or well, maybe not yesterday. Yesterday was Friday, so it would have been this past week. I can't remember what it was in reference to though. Yeah, it's like they named it for some reason. It just light bulb goes off. It's like, I heard that name recently. I love being able to turn on a dime and whipping out of traffic. LNMG. American Army built a highway from my town. Yeah. I watched a documentary about the Alaskan highway and why they built it, and how many people, how many African Americans that they sent up there to do it. Brian James, I shut off the news and put a Ted Bundy movie on to relax. Oh, wow. That's unique there, Brian. I would have done the opposite. I was trying to find a comment here. I'm sorry, I missed somebody. There it is. Deco Paint and Tea. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well this morning. Didn't mean to miss you there. I was trying to find it. I saw it go by. That went by quick. It was like a whole chunk of comments went zooming by. Really sorry about that. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Tammy, good morning. Sorry I'm late. How's everyone doing? I'm doing great, Tammy. I hope you're doing great as well. Tourists come through our town every summer going up the highway. So does, well, he's not in that neck of the woods. Steve Wallace. He's another YouTuber. Steve Wallace. He does camping, I guess, videos. I guess you could call it that. But he camps out on Crown land along the freeway in the shoulders of highways, divided highways, next to a cemetery. He's built a raft and floated up and down, certain rivers in Canada. Have you seen the 2002 film called Bundy? The scene with the cotton balls is the best. Wow. And good morning, Cement Shoes. I was going to ask, Cement Shoes, is the profile picture that you're using now, is that you? Tie-dyeing up while listening. You do tie-dyeing? Deco paint and tea? That's cool. We have a lady that does tie-dye work for me and my wife. She does T-shirts and underwear and stuff like that for my son. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Kimmy Jean. Yeah. If you enjoyed the stream, hit the thumbs up if you want, or not. Hit the thumbs down if you don't like it. We love Steve Wallace. I got Kevin a Hunker Down hoodie for Christmas. There you go. I have his T-shirt. I have one of the T-shirts. I don't know if he offers it anymore. You'll every once in a while you'll see my name on on the beer fund. Tammy, what's my plans today? Well, let's see here. After this stream, I'm going to enjoy a late breakfast with my mother, my wife, my son. And then after that, I've got a list of things around the house that I need to get done. That is going to be the majority of my day. And Starfire 3, good afternoon, everyone. Well, welcome to the stream, Starfire. Don't really have much plans beyond that. Cement Soso. Does Soso use a different name? Yeah. Drama remains on stage. Brooks, Lou, do I work out? I don't know. It all depends on what you consider working out. I don't go to the gym. No. I do yoga. And I exercise some mainly to keep muscle tone in my back because I've got a bad lower back pain. So I do exercises for that. And then I golf a lot. So, and I walk the golf course. It's usually right around 2 miles of total walking every weekend. But workout, that's about it. I just got a freezer delivered. Funny, but I always think of dead bodies when I think of freezers. Yeah. You know what I didn't know until I was having a conversation with Tim about this. My friend Tim, is you can buy an actual freezer on Amazon, and they will and have it delivered. I was like, what? You can even get a freezer delivered. I was like, if you're gonna put a dead body in one, I guess you might as well get it from on Amazon, right? Dawn Marie, good morning. Welcome to the stream, Dawn Marie. Hope you're doing well this morning. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know where that comment went. I'm scrolling up. I don't see it now. Well, I don't know. I hate it when it the feed is going along and it's like tick tick tick, as people are commenting, and all of a sudden it just zooms by, and I'm like, oh look, but I'm looking at the timestamp next to them, and like all these comments all came in at, I don't know about your guys' in, but everything from short, nice saying hello to I see you, there to, well, Ann King's, hi Gala, all have the same timestamp to me. There it is. I found it. There was a creepy story about kids wandering around and found abandoned house with dead bodies in the freezer. It was on Coffee with CC. Mm. See, that's what caught cement shoes. What caught me, my attention there was I saw the last part. It said CC, and I was like, "Where'd the hell did that comment go?" Good morning, Bud. Good morning again, Don Murray. I got a freezer on Amazon. Came with plastic bags. I didn't know you could. I didn't know you really seriously. I thought when it came to an appliance like that, I thought you had to buy something like that local. I wouldn't think, oh, Amazon. Well, get yourself a freezer on Amazon. I mean, small household items, toaster. Yeah, sure. I could see Amazon storing that and shipping it, but I didn't think that they would ship beds and freezers and all kinds of things like that. Nor do I think of Amazon when it comes to auto parts. But apparently, if there's a cookie jar to have your hand in, Amazon's got their hand in it somewhere. And they've bought up a lot of these companies that were in niche areas that were, like that. The house burned down 2 days later. Totally suspicious story. I believe it was in South Carolina. Wow. If you order a prefab tiny home on Amazon, where in the world do you have it delivered? Well, I don't know, Ann King. It's a good question. Post office box or the post office, and then you pick it up at the post office. I don't know. I bought a sofa from Amazon. Wow. I've never purchased anything like that online. A sofa. We purchased a bed, one of those memory foam bed. Well, not the entire bed, but the mattress. We got one of those on Amazon because when they shrink it down to almost nothing, and then you open it up, and then as it gets air, it fills back up. Yeah. Yeah, the sad thing about that gala, about Judy Kirby, is she still has, even though she was sentenced to 215 years in prison, she still has, I'm getting feedback on this microphone. Hold on. She still has rights to appeal, even after being sentenced to 215 years. You'd never go camping again, cement shoes, if you found a dead body. I don't know. I don't know if that would necessarily stop me. I think if I got attacked by a bear or something like that, that'd probably make me think twice about going camping. But I don't know if I'd stop camping because I found a dead body. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Yeah, she should never be released. And she's, as of what I think it was 2018. As of 2018, she still has never had a job since she has been incarcerated. So she'll never pay back the restitution agreements for the families that who were harmed in the accidents and who went off into the ditches and rolled and crashed their cars and to avoid hitting her. She'll never pay the court. She'll never pay her ex-husband. Nobody. She refuses to work. She survives on donations that are made to her from people from the outside, and it's just sick. There are not only men but women who have been financially supporting her this entire time she's been in prison. Go camping with Steve Wallace. I think that sounds like fun. Connie, I think that'd be fun to go camping with Steve. I've watched some of those episodes that he's done, and I always wonder myself, just why do people, when it comes to camping, first off, my wife is not a camper. She, and I don't know why I bought a camper itself. And I think that the chances are probably 5% that I'll ever get her to go anywhere with us in a camping. But what Steve does, in his camping, is he's just making a basic shelter to keep the rain and snow off of him, and he just sleeping out underneath the stars. Otherwise. The one that I would never do is the episode where he camped in that U-Haul van, and it was negative like 30 below out. I wouldn't do that. That's too severe for me, even me. I was like, no, nope, not doing that, Steve. Crazy Neighbor. I always wondered, when first time I watched it and Crazy Neighbor was on there, I always wondered, is he really a crazy neighbor, or is that like somebody he just calls crazy neighbor? I mean, obviously he lives close to where they live now, but Steve and beautiful wife just dropped me off along the freeway. Good morning, Red Rum. How are you doing this morning? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Crazy Neighbor. But I always wondered if he was like, a brother or some kind of relative of Steve's. I don't know. Loved camping when my daughter was little. She would walk around the campsites that we were poor. Wow. I loved him camping in California mountains, except for the bears. They always come for our food. I camp sometimes when I go on in June when I go on the road trip, but most of the time I stay in little hotels and motels along the way. Hold on a second. This is really bothering me. I hope this is not bothering everybody else, but it probably is. There. We're gonna have to rely on the mic on the camera, so I'm gonna have to stay closer. My coworker always camps in the winter because he hates bugs. Well, that'd be a perfect time to do it, depending upon where you live in the wintertime. I got friends who live out there towards Nova Scotia, and even in the wintertime, there are certain bugs that even are active even in the winter. I don't know if I'm pretty sure it's not flies or anything like that. Bugs and snakes. That's a hard negative for me. Bugs and snakes. I'm okay with the only bugs that bother me are ants. Well, ants and flies. I just don't like them in my house. It drives me nuts. Marie, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the stream, Marie. I used to live camping when love camping when my kids were small, but it freezes here in England even in the summer. Oh, that sucks. We don't have bears in the UK, just strange beer drinking vegans. Bad enough. Yeah, all the places that I used to camp when I was in high school, me and my friends, we'd go camping. All of them became tourist spots. We used to camp in Washington State. We used to camp near Salmon LaSac, and we'd also camp near Roslyn, Washington. Roslyn, later on, they based the TV show Northern Exposure on what the downtown looked like. They didn't film the episodes there. They filmed them on a TV lot, but they used some outdoor scenes here and there for when they're out and about. But most of it was filmed in a studio in Los Angeles someplace. But they based it on that, so it was just a sleepy little one horse town, I guess you could call it. When we used to camp there. And then the TV series came out, and that kind of ruined it. In the Salmon LaSac area, some of the outdoor areas that are near that is what they based the TV show Twin Peaks on, the Diary of Laura Palmer. So that started driving a lot of tourists there for that. And then the pristine, waterways that were there soon became trashed, and it just got overran. So all the areas that we used to enjoy camping at were gone. You're a pathological arachnophobe. You love snakes. My mom could care less about spiders, but is terrified of snakes. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen anybody put it that way. Cement shoes, a pathological arachnophobic. Mind you, if it's music festival and alcohol's involved, that's fun. Yeah. We have a place here. It's about 160 miles from here, roughly. But probably a little bit longer if depending on which way or highway you take to get there. But it's called the Gorge. It's an outdoor amphitheater. When I used to go there when I was younger in my teenage years, it was just a big hole in the ground with a stage at the bottom, and then at nighttime they'd light it up so it overlooked like the gorge area. And I've seen some of the best concerts I've ever had there. But now they've put in camping sites where you have to pay to camp. We used to just pitch a tent or sleep in a bunch of vehicles, just rough it out while we're there. And then now it's the entire thing is set up in sections, and you got to pay more. It used to be they opened the gates and you just walked into wherever you wanted to sit down on the grassy hill and watch the concert. Now it's like, well, we can make more money if we charge more for the closer you get to the stage. They usually drink craft beers. There's a lot of craft breweries around here. A lot. In California, you have to pay for everything, even breathing. Not everything, Kayla. When I was in college, me and my buddies, we took a road trip down to California, and we didn't have any provisions at all. My friend had it was what they call that thing. It's the European version of the Taurus, the Ford Taurus, the '80s Taurus, McCure or something like that. But we filled the trunk of that car with as much beer as we could get in there in the trunk of the car. We in the back seat, the floors, the passenger seat floor, we filled it full of beer. Everybody who was sitting in the back seat sat on top of cases of beer. The only food that we bought was we bought loaves of white bread, a jar of jelly, and a jar of peanut butter. We figured that would subside us and get us through a week. And we got to California. We camped out off, along the ocean off of Highway 101. If there was one of those porta potty places, along the way, we just said, all right, 10 feet from that, 15 feet from that along the ocean, we camp out, start a fire, and just chilled. We only made it like 3 days that way. But then I ended up, my mom was a member of Holiday Clubs International. And so I got us rooms in Chinatown in San Francisco. But, and then we, on the way, after we, staying there and cleaning it up for a couple of days, and then we camped all the way back up to, 101, all the way through from California up Oregon coast and back into Washington State. Good old times. My iPad started to fall. Didn't mean to do that. I don't know. I don't know what you did. It's okay. Bye, everyone. Bye, K-Love. You have a great day today. I'm going to have to take off soon here as well, ladies and gentlemen. Thank everyone for being here today on this rambling Saturday morning, stream. I hope you all have a great day today and stay safe and warm. Well, my dream is to travel through America in a camper, but funds getting murdered stop me. Oh, Marie, don't worry about that. I'll tell you all really quickly before I leave, Marie. I have a couple of friends. They retired. Now their kids are all grown. They are both in their 60s. They have one daughter, one son. Their daughter lives in North Carolina. The son lives in California. I think he lives just outside of San Diego. So the kids are on both, polar opposites, of the continental United States, lower 48. So he and his wife decided, well, the kids don't want to be here where we are. So they sold everything and they bought themselves I think it was like a 90s Chevy pickup with a tow behind camper. And they live that life. They have a couple of PO boxes spread. They have one in Carolina, one, in Los Angeles. And I think the other one's in like Iowa in the middle. And they just travel around the United States all year, going from place to place, visiting and sightseeing, doing whatever they want, and living their, the best years that they can and the best life that they can while they're traveling. And they said it's probably the happiest that they have been in their entire lives. Besides obviously raising children. But at that point, once they were grown, the next 20 years was just kind of miserable. You're just living through life and you're paying bills. They don't have to pay for electricity and sewer and cable and everything else. They live on Wi-Fi, and wherever they can get a Wi-Fi signal. Something breaks, they pay for it in cash. They don't have credit card bills, nothing anymore. So if you can ever get a chance to do it, do it. But do it before you get to that point where you're like, you know what? I'm too old to do it now, or I'm too sick, or my health is an issue. So, but have fun. Just remember, none of us are guaranteed a tomorrow. So if you can find a way to do it, and it makes you happy, do it. That's my only advice. But where there's a way, there's a means. Means to a way. All right, everybody. Thank you again for being here this morning. I hope you all have a great day. Stay safe out there.